Hello everyone, welcome to our webinar. My name is Ndidi Isia and I'll be your moderator for today. Hanging somewhere on the corner, we have two great guests, two amazing guests that will be taking us through everything business automation, everything small business owners need to know about making their business processes very easy. So today we will be having conversations with them. And if you have any questions while this conversation is going on, please just note it down in the comment section. And lest I forget, make sure you connect. Use that comment section to connect because almost everybody here is either a business owner or you know someone who owns a business or you are intending to start a business. So make sure that you connect in the conversation section, in the comment section, because your next big client might just be there. You would agree with me that small businesses have played a major role in the economy of in the economy of our country, whether in Nigeria or anywhere. Small businesses play a huge role when it comes to employment, economic growth, and a lot more. So it's only, even if we don't get the much accolade that we need, it's only necessary that people, government, institutions try to see how they can help out, not just with grants, but with other, say software and other means of easing the stress of these business owners. So today, we have Mr. Namdi Azugo and Ms. Shei. I'm just going to allow them go ahead and introduce themselves. So we can just kick off with this webinar. So I'm not talking too much, okay? All right. So first off, Mr. Namdi, please introduce yourself.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Ndidi. My name is Namdi Azugo. I am the Director of Technologies, Stride Technologies. I have been in the IT space for a while, early 2000s, to the late 99s, but technology has always been part of me, actually, right from when I was little. So I had a group of friends that we normally would come together, build vehicles, these toy cars with electric motors, and also build things like simulated computer games. I mean, we were quite young back then, and that passion actually led me to study in the field of computer engineering. Right after my studies, I moved. So we created a sort of startup that was called WDS Concepts back then, and one of the main projects that we worked on was, or that we picked up, was with American Express, so in the development of certain web applications, the major web applications that they use. It's called Pay with Points. From there, our clientele or our work experience increased now to where we started working with other companies like Rogers Communications. All these are actually in Canada. Rogers Communications in the deployment of things like CRM, deployment of different solutions across Canada. So I am from the IT world. Technology has really been a part of me right from when I was little, and that passion continues. And as again, here I find myself as the Director of Technology at Rightgate, and that passion has continued into the development of the product I believe that we'll be talking about today, which is Sprite. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Namdi, for being here. So over to Ms. Shei. Please introduce yourself.
Okay, good day, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name is Ulubisi Afalabi. I'm Director of ITPMO here in Rightgate. So I have basic knowledge in helping businesses develop software solutions, and this came from a drive where I saw some of the problems, some of issues business go through, which can be solved by simple automation tools. So I developed passion in this, where I work with team groups to ensure that we come up with solutions that can aid business processes. So currently, I've been working with small medium enterprise to develop software solutions using automation tools to ease their business process, ease streamline their activities, their day-to-day activities, listen to the hassles they face, provide solutions, and this has been part of me and is still going. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. We do appreciate your time. But one of the things I hear both of you talk about is business automation. So I would like, before we even go into the actual conversation, Mr. Namdi, what exactly is business automation?
All right, thank you for the question. Business automation, I mean, the word or the term that you hear a lot, thrown around a lot is digital transformation. They're the same thing, right? So transforming from manual processes to digital or automatic or automated processes, normally handled by technology. So digital transformation is basically the automation of complex, I'll say all simple, but I'll just say complex business processes using technology. Now, it's also the transformation or automation of simple processes in order to make them more streamlined. Okay, so complex processes, you move them to the digital space, and then simple processes, again, you take them, streamline them, so the organization is more efficient. Okay, so when you start talking about automation, you're talking about improving service quality. You're talking about improving service delivery. You're talking about taking costs that maybe you would have been exorbitant and reducing it because of the efficiencies you've introduced. So many times you'll see integration. It may require the integration of applications or maybe changes to the organization's structure itself. That's what we call change management. But I'll talk a little bit more about that later in this program. Okay, so that is business process automation, digital transformation, moving from manual to automated processes, just so the organization runs better. Yeah.
That sounds very interesting. I'm sure any small business owner that is here would be thrilled to have something that helps his or her business process, eases the whole stress and all of that. So Ms. Shea, in this conversation, one of the things we'll also be talking about is ERP software. What exactly is ERP? What are ERP softwares?
Okay, so yeah, ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning, and this refers to a type of software used by businesses to plan and manage their daily operations. So it's a business automation tool that cuts across different departments in an organization. It's thinking about departments, the HR, the supply chain, the accounting. Think of businesses. So Stride ERP is like an integration tool that helps to automate the daily operations of a business end to end.
Okay, so Stride ERP, as you said, is a software that helps to ease the daily hustle of business owners. Basically, it's just like this. It's just like this, right?
Sure.
That's really amazing. Yeah. So then, what is Stride ERP? What is this software, Stride ERP?
Okay, thanks for that. Yeah, thanks for that question. So, like I said, and I've explained what an ERP is about. Stride ERP is not in any way different from that, but it has advanced and unique functionalities that makes it stand out from other ERPs. So, Stride ERP is also an automation business solution that caters for the needs of a business. Think of it, what could be business needs. Stride ERP is there. So Stride ERP has 5 products. It has the CRM, Stride CRM. We have the Stride HR and payroll. We have Stride accounting. We have Stride asset manager, and we have Stride project manager. So coming from an HR perspective, Stride helps to drive compliance in an organization. It ensures that employees are compliant to organization policies. It also tracks employees' activities in an organization, ensuring that it's focused on the organization goal and objective. Also, Stride ERP HR has a self-portal service that grants employee access to the salaries, the tax, deductions, their earnings. So that's for the HR. Also thinking of accounting, Stride Accounting also, it caters for financial computations using best industry standards, in which it also eliminates the need where you need to hire a professional, an accountant, to help you run your daily operations. So Stripe does the thinking for you. All you need to do is to input your daily life, your real life scenarios, your daily data, and Stripe gets this data, and the intelligence has been built in the background, where it takes this data you've inputted, and it transforms it into reports for you to make business decisions, a lot and more of that. So thinking of Stride project management, it caters for the project from end to end, the project phases, the deliverables, the finances, the budgeting, the activities, timelines, resource allotted to each project, also the CRM. If you agree with me, for every organization, their clients or their customers are like their real MVPs, and you don't want to joke with them. So Stride ensures that your dealings with your clients is in an organized and systematic way, in which you service them. For those that are interested in your products and your services, it allows you to service them in an organized way. You have the record. It makes you treat them like, they say customers are always right, like, and customers always want the best service they can get. Stride is there to help you, and so much more. Same thing, your asset. Stride ERP asset manager also helps to cater for end-to-end process of your asset, thinking of from inception, from purchase to when you're using your asset, to when it's in storage, to when you retire your asset, the financials, the movements, your inventories. So Stride has all of these products one in one, and this is what makes it give you an immediate advantage over your competitors. Thank you.
So you are telling me, Miss Sheikh, that all of these amazing benefits of this software is for small businesses.
Correct. Yes, it is for
Like
small
all of
businesses.
these great things you've mentioned, they are all accessible for small business owners.
Yes, using Stride ERP. All of this is accessible. You're
Wow.
correct.
Wow, that's really nice. So what kind of business exactly is this software built for?
Okay, yeah. So Stride ERP is specifically designed for small, medium, and large enterprise. But our target audience is the small, medium enterprise, in which we've examined the problems, the challenges they go through, and Stride ERP is here to provide solutions to this problem. Problem, like I mentioned, the need to hire a professional in different departments. Think of hiring a professional in HR, hiring a professional in accounting, in CRM, which is a bit on the high side for a small business owner. So Stride is there
Mhm.
doing the thinking for you. It's there to work like your personal assistant. Trust me, with Stride, work becomes fun, because all
Wow.
you need to do is just to input your data, and you get your results, you get your data as you need to.
Wow. So you are saying a fashion business this can accommodate a fashion business, this can accommodate a real estate firm,
Oh
this can
yes.
accommodate any kind of business whatsoever, any kind of small business whatsoever.
Oh yes, for different sectors. Think of it.
Wow.
Once you
Wow.
have customers you sell your products to, or that get your service. Once you have people working for you. Once you have assets. Whatever sector, Stride applicators for
Wow.
all
Wow.
the sectors.
That's pretty in-depth. But one of the things I would like to ask, and this question now is for Mr. Namdi.
Okay.
So if we have all this, it's more like this software is all encompassing. So what exactly why is there a need for a next level? Why is there a need for a 2.0, a next level Stride? We would like to have more information about that.
All right, thank you for the question. So again, Sprite, it came with a full package, or it's grown progressively actually from when we started. Um, the problem statement, actually, how Sprite came about was, I mean, when you look at small businesses, Rigate did come on the scene a few years back to Nigeria to actually perform some project, work on some projects. And now those projects that we are working on, we had to work with other SMEs, obviously as suppliers, and they provided different services, either as consultants and the rest. But we noticed that many of these SMEs had very hardworking people. However, they were underperforming compared to what their counterparts will deliver or were delivering in other parts of the world, especially in the Western parts of the world. So you start looking, okay, the amount of effort they put in towards the achievement of the goal was excessive compared to results they got, right? You'll see employees, just like Mr. E said, employees normally, in an SME, this is what you'll see. They often put on multiple hats, right? And you see an accountant doubling as an HR person and doubling as the procurement manager. That's common in SMEs with SMEs. But you notice also that this accountant, even if he's a trained accountant, or let me say a trained HR professional, they may not necessarily be trained on the accounting side. So you now start experiencing gaps and a decline in efficiencies. So this is one of the problems we saw, we noticed. Now, because of the fast pace of work with these SMEs, something has to give because this person is not able to deliver at high levels. And, or this individual, this HR person that is supposed to be working on accounting is not delivering at the levels that they should be delivering at. So, what they have to satisfy the need of the customer. So something dies in-house. Internally, something has to give. And many times you see that those things that have to give are maybe in the area of documentation and several areas that normally impact their compliance requirements. So if I'm not documenting things properly from the accounting perspective or the accounting side, again, FIRS is on my neck. And sometimes you see, I mean, you guys have walked around, you see the big signs on the gates that failed by FIRS or failed by OCDA or whatever capital or community development or body they have out there, right? Now you start thinking, okay, these people, these SMEs, why we have ERPs in the market, but how come why are they not using or taking advantage of these ERPs? Now, when you start looking at these ERPs, and I talked about my background earlier, we've worked with several companies on the deployment of ERPs to their organizations. You'll notice that these ERPs in the market are too complex to use. They actually require experts in the different areas. You'll notice that, so basically they were not designed for organizations of this size. And they tell you that simply with the pricing. All right, some of these prices are exorbitant. I mean, that's not something an SME or many of the SMEs looking at the revenue range that these SMEs operate within. It's not something that they can afford. All right. So they don't have that revenue. And then those that can afford it do not know how to transition from when they actually finally acquire it, transitioning from their current process to the digital process also is an issue because there's an additional expense associated with that. That's change management. So when you now look at all that stuff, I mean, that's how Sprite came about. And Sprite came with the basic functionality, with the core functionalities for HR, for finance, for accounting, for CRM, so managing your clients, managing your assets, and managing your process. We had those functionalities in Sprite 1.0. Now, once we stabilize that, again, we're listening to our clients to hear how Sprite was doing, how Sprite affected their businesses, if there was an improvement. And so we took that pulse and we noticed that they were doing okay. So it was now, there's always room for improvement. So we looked at the next level, which is automating things like payments. Okay, so being able to send an invoice out. And right now, you are able to send an invoice out with Sprite. So it automatically sends the invoice to the client, to your client. But your client, the payment of the invoice happens outside Sprite. So they either go to the bank to pay it or they do a bank transfer, they pay it, then you go back to Sprite to record that payment. So we've taken that manual process away and we've added to Sprite the ability for your clients to pay for those invoices online. So they click on it, they pay with their debit cards, credit cards, and you just simply receive an alert. So basically, the invoicing process, what it looks like is Sprite generates the invoice automatically. Your client sees an email, you owe this amount, they click on it, Sprite receives the payment, or the payment goes to your bank account actually. Sprite receives that alert and notifies you that somebody has paid. It automates the invoice, the receipt process, so you get a receipt. Your client gets a receipt that payment has been received, and you also get notification that your client has paid. So you simply do nothing. Now that eliminates the need to hire multiple people, either to follow up or to confirm that payment has been received. All right, so that is the next level, one of the next level things that we put in there. One other thing that we added to this is that we've come to near perfection. We haven't, I mean, they said never use the word perfect, but I can dare to use that word. I mean, when it comes to the automation of the accounting processes, that's one thing, one of Stride's unique selling features. So Stride was designed to not eliminate, but to reduce the need of a professional accountant, the need to hire a professional accountant in your organization. Now, I'll say that carefully because, yes, you do not eliminate an accountant completely, but what it does is that it reduces all the manual efforts. I mean, when you look at other accounting software, I mean, there's this journal entry screen where you have to enter multiple, I mean, for each transaction that you do, you have to calculate to know exactly what kind of account this transaction belongs to, what ledger, what side of the ledger it belongs to, and all that. So Stride have fully automated that. So again, that accounting logic automation, again, it learns also, it looks at your business to know how you operate, and Stride learns and uses that learning or what it has learned to develop your balance sheet, your income statement. It gives you a report, builds your report automatically. So for an organization with simple processes, or not simple processes, with normal processes, it can actually build your financial reports at 100% completion level. For those that have more complex accounting systems or business processes, I'll say it can do it up to a 95% level, where you may now need an accountant to come in to complete the other 5% that's left. So Sprite 2.0 has perfected that automation process. And obviously, we'll keep looking for ways to improve on that process. The other thing that we have is actually change management. That's a unique feature that it was always in 1.0, but what we have done now is that we have grown our the number of partners that we have. So the number of partners that we have now, when I say partners, we have people that actually go out. So when you purchase Stride, I mentioned one of the problems is that, yes, you have the software, but how do you use that software? Now, ERPs are not simple to use because ERPs actually drive your entire business end to end. It handles your HR, it handles your clients, it handles everything that basically keeps your business afloat. Now, buying that type of software and just turning it on and using it is not always practical. So you need that change management person or somebody to sit down with your organization and train your entire staff on how to use Sprite. So that's something that Sprite comes with. We're able to, we give that service for free. So once you purchase Sprite, somebody comes to your office, sits with you for a period of 5 days to teach your staff and train your staff on how to use Sprite. So from a 2.0 perspective, what we've done is basically perfecting the accounting logic automation, the online payments, we've enabled that. And also one thing we've also done is that we've made it easier to integrate with other applications. Okay, so we've just enhanced our system, our integration capabilities in 2.0. So it's now easier to integrate because, yes, you have the back office system, but things like people have websites where people pay, e-commerce sites where people buy stuff. We've also made it easier to integrate those applications with Sprite. So that's 2.0.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, great. This is it's absolutely mind blowing because one of the questions I was going to ask you when you were talking was, is there a way for people to be trained? Is there a way for these small business owners to be trained? Because one of the things I know when it comes to tech, internet, software, a lot of people are not so open to knowing about it. So it's good that you mentioned that there's a change management system on ground handling all of
Right.
that. So one question I would like to ask, you, Mr. Namdi, before I move over to Ms. Shea. How is your licensing done? Because I know that for some ERPs, you pay per person. So how is your licensing done?
All right. So Sprite ERP, again, that's one of the issues I mentioned that people have. You have this small, medium enterprise, you want it to run perfectly, but you just can't afford what is in the market. Per user licensing, what you'll see in standard ERPs is about, you pay about $5, whatever that the equivalent is in Naira. $5 per person that comes on, that uses the software, and it's per person per month, right? I don't know how much that will be in Naira. Let's say whatever it is in Naira, that's how much you're paying. Now, for Stride, we knew revenue was one of the things that people consider when trying to purchase anything at all. So we looked at small, medium enterprises. These are companies that have between 11 and 300 employees in the organization. So we decided to come up with a licensing, what's the word now? The licensing style that accommodates more people at a time. So we have about 100 people. For 100 people on Stride, you pay. There's a fee of about 50,000 naira a year annually. Okay, and these 100 people have access to different multiple types, every area of the application. So you can assign them to HR, you can assign them to the accounting part or CRM. So 50,000 naira per year for up to 100 employees on Sprite. So the group licensing is what we call it. So Sprite has a group licensing style that we have. So that's the style of license that we have for Sprite. And right now, I mean, we have about more than 4,000 end users on Sprite. And this, again, that's where you see the results of this licensing style that we have, 400 active end users. And Stride right now is used to process invoices of tens of thousands of clients. Okay, tens of thousands of vendors bills for tens of thousands of vendors. So when you start looking at the overall, the number of invoice and bill transactions processed weekly, we're looking in the hundreds of thousands. So small businesses appreciate that, and they are taking advantage of this entire package that we are offering. Thank you.
Absolutely. So over to you, Ms. Shea. I know Namdi mentioned in passing. Is this software customizable? And if it is, how is it done? How is it done? If it is customizable, say, can a business website be linked to it? And yes.
Okay, thanks for that question. Yes, absolutely. Stride ERP is highly customizable. And another unique thing about Stride ERP is that we have a section under Stride ERP that allows you configure your data to suit your business. It allows you to customize it how you want, how your data structure is. We have that. Also, for other customization, yes, it is. Also, like Mr. Namdi rightly said, it integrates with other software applications too. It's integrates there. It allows you to integrate and shade correctly. So yes, it is highly customizable.
Okay, so how is it still for you, Ms. Shea? How is it done? Is it something you must be in your office to work with? Is it something that you can do on the go? How is it done?
Okay, as you mean the usage of Stride, right? You mean how can you access Stride?
Exactly.
Oh yes. So
Exactly.
okay. So Stride ERP is hosted on the cloud. It's a cloud-based application that allows for easy retrieval, easy access, so to say. So you can be anywhere in the world and you can access Stride ERP from any device, be it your phone, your tablet, your desktop, whatever device you have. Once it's connected to laptop and internet, you can access Stride. And it also sends you real-time notifications, how things are going in your organization, how the business, the operations are moving. You get real-time updates anywhere you are in the world. So it grants you visibility, it grants you access at any point in time. Thank you.
Okay, great stuff. Please, just we're almost running off this session. Please just keep asking your questions. Whatever question you have about this session, do well to write them down in the comment section because questions will be taken after this session. Mr. Namdi, over to you. So what separates Stride from, I know you've mentioned the beautiful things that comes with 2.0, but what exactly would you say separates Stride ERP from every other ERP software out there?
Yeah, so I've mentioned most of them. Thanks for that. One is the ability to fully automate your financial, the build of your financial report. Okay, that's something that no system out there does, right? So the full automation without having to touch your financial report, Stride actually builds that from end to end for you. Like I said, up to 100% completion rate, where you may find yourself in a situation, depending on your business operations, you may find many businesses that actually never have to touch their financial statements. Stride built it all for them, income statements. So you always know how much, in terms of revenue, how much profit you've made, how much your expenses are, how much equity you have in your business. That's all built automatically. Now, for those with complex operations or operating processes, they may require an accountant to come in maybe to tweak that 3% that Stride may not be able to do. I mean, you're looking at tax liabilities. Some people find ways to reduce their tax liabilities and so on and so forth. That's something an accountant may have to do for you. So that automation is something that Stride does and no other person does. The deployment of change management professionals with every license purchase is something that no other person offers. And that's something that we know is very important to successful digital transformation. And that's something that we offer as a company, as Stride. Again, it's a very practical thing. Our tech partners go out there and they help you. Get started. They help you stand up those processes and basically ensure that the software is adopted properly. Highly discounted rates. So we're talking about group licensing, and then 50,000 a year, 50,000 naira, not dollars, by the way. So 50,000 naira a year equates to about 4,000 naira a month. All right, 4,000 naira a month, and Stride actually reduces the need to over hire people. So situations where you need maybe one person to perform, or without a system, you may need about 4 people to perform a particular function. Stride, the purchase of Stride reduces that need to maybe one person, or even takes over the role of the 4 people that you would have hired to perform that role. So it's very, very effective in reducing your costs. And again, it's like Mr. You called it a personal assistant. It does not argue. So you configure it to do what it needs to do, and it will deliver the results that that you've configured it or that you've set it to deliver based on compliance standards and best practices in whatever industry you are operating within or operating in. Okay, so yeah, that's those are the unique features: accounting, logic automation, deployment of change management, group licensing, and again, highly discounted rates is something that we use now. That is the icing on the cake.
Okay, so I like how you said it with so much confidence. No other person does it out there. That's so much confidence, and It's actually great stuff for all these things that you are offering with such, I mean, little to nothing. It's actually mind blowing. So one final question for you and for Miss Shea. So you take yours, and then when you're done, Miss Shea, why small businesses? Why did you choose to go for small business? Why small business? You could have um the big boys. Why did you decide small business?
Now, our target is small business, and we do not small businesses because there's a major gap there. The software, there are solutions for big businesses, and those solutions are solutions that they can afford, right? However, there is a gap on the small business side where these guys do not have the tools, or they do not have they're not able to afford the software, the solutions that exist in the market today. So we again took a look at everything, we took a holistic look at some of the reasons why they are not able to procure or purchase some of the ERPs in the market right now. And we made sure that Stride was able, so basically Stride is everything that, or has everything that now makes it possible for them to purchase or use, move from manual to digital. Okay, so it's not big, large organizations can use it. They can use it. However, the people that we target is small, medium enterprises, but many large organizations currently do use Stride currently, and it works very well for them.
Okay. I think I may have a question for you, but would come to that just after Miss Shea. So Miss Shea, why are you so passionate about small businesses? Because I mean, you could have been passionate about the big boys, but you're so passionate. I listened to you when you introduced yourself, and the passion in your voice. Why are you so passionate about small businesses?
Okay, yeah. So just like I said during my introduction, I have worked closely with them, and I understand that they have this misconception that I'm a small business owner. Why do I can't overcome these issues? I can't. My organization can be structured. They just tend to adapt to accept the issue. So, and that brought me into that grew my passion to say, oh, because you're a small business, doesn't mean that you cannot scale, doesn't mean you cannot just do as a large business are doing. So this is one of the reasons, and this is why small medium enterprise is our target audience, so that they can also enjoy what the larger organizations also are enjoying in terms of workflow automation. Because you're small doesn't mean you should not have a structured organization, doesn't mean you should not make profit as you ought to, doesn't mean you should not service your clients in a systematic way. So this and many more has brought about the introduction and the interest of small business or enterprise.
Oh, great stuff. I mean, it's really Stride ERP. From everything you have both said, Mr. Namdi and Ms. Shea, like it seems really exciting, and I'm very sure it's something any small business owner here would love to jump on. So Mr. Shea, this is going to be the last question, so that we can possibly take questions if we have any. We would like you to just
Okay.
do a short demo for us. Sorry, this question is for Mr. Namdi. I don't know if I said Ms. Shea. Um, so would you mind doing a short demonstration for us? Say how the 2.0 works, probably just one module, one section of how it works, and really whet our appetite. Just whet our appetite.
All right. So Stride, I'm just going to share my screen. I don't know if everyone can see it. So this is Sprite ERP. I mean, this is something that when you log into Sprite, this is the first thing that you will see. It's your dashboard. And now not everybody has access to everything I can see. You can see on the left side, there's a whole bunch of navigation items there. Sprite is
Okay.
role-based, or it's permission driven. So what you see is based on your role within the organization. But for Sprite 2.0 specifically, what we have introduced, Mr. You mentioned, you asked a question earlier actually about, you were asking about customization. And now I'll point out customization and configuration, two different things. Stride is highly configurable, meaning that it can work with all industries. All you need to do is basically make certain changes under the system setup to get it to adapt to your own business. However, if you need to integrate it or join it, let me use that term, join it to maybe another application that you have out there, you can do that. And that's where our software developers come in. But simple changes to business processes or getting it to work for oil and gas company versus an HR or a finance company, all those are things we can configure here. But for 2.0, again, what we introduced was payment gateway. As you can see here, there's an option for Paystack that you can turn on to turn or to enable online payments. And many of you will right now there's just Paystack, but you'll see we're just going to introduce more payment gateways here to give our clients more options to pick from. And what happens is that when you turn it on, Stride now enables a link which, when sent to clients, your clients, basically allows your client to make payments using their debit card or their credit card. So this is basically the foundation or the core piece of the 2.0 online payment enablement. Now, when you go to accounting and payroll, this is an area that most people would not really go to because again, this is most of the processes here have been automated. But to show you the automation logic, this happens under. Let me point out one of the areas. Actually, no. Let me go to report and mass update. So your profit and loss report is something that Stride automates. Many people do not know how to come up with this. Many business owners, and we don't expect them to know. So Stride actually creates it creates all these things by itself. It generates this report automatically. Your balance sheet report, the same thing. It generates all that automatically. So the logic to make this happen is what I was talking about what I was referring to when I talked about the the payment automation, finance automation logic. So all these things are fully automated. Just go ahead and process your invoice, make your payments on Stride, pay your salaries, and Stride takes over the rest. It knows exactly what to do to build your balance sheets and the rest. So that is another fundamental piece of 2.0 where we focus our efforts to make it a lot better. There's a lot that we can talk about on the 2.0 side, but those are the two core things that we put in for 2.0.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Namdi. It seems like a lot. I know I said that was going to be my last question, but from what you just showed us, I think I have a question. So you said it is permission based. How exactly do you mean? How is that done? Does it mean not everybody in the organization have access to everything on the software?
Yeah, correct. If your role in the organization is, let's say, HR, you will see only things that, the system can be configured so that you only see things related to human resources. And here I can see a lot of human resource functionality. The same thing under system setup. I can see there's an HR portion, HR section there. So you may not see sales leads because that is for a different department. You may not see accounting and payroll if you are not involved in that. So what you see is just tailored to or tied to or based on your role in the organization. An accountant will see accounting and payroll, and but they may not see human resources. A salesperson, someone on the sales side, you only see sales leads, maybe clients and invoices, but not accounting, payroll, and other parts of the organization. Other parts of the software. Okay.
Wow. That's I'm actually short of words, you know. So okay, so this is going to be my last question so that we can take questions from our people here. I don't know if it was you or Miss Shay, but you said something about Stride sending reminders to or invoices directly to the client. Now, is it possible that Stride is also able to send, say, emails or reminders or something? Is that possible with
Yeah,
Stride?
so regarding emails, so yes, invoices are sent through emails, but there are many other
Okay.
things that Sprite actually sends or does on behalf of humans. And many of those things are either done, it does it, and then it reminds you or tells you that it's done it through an email notification. One of such things is your bills. I mean, if your bills are due for payment, it reminds you that you have a bill, NEPA, HCN, has sent you,
Wow.
is due for payment, or it tells you your internet is due for payment. So it sends those notifications
Wow.
internally. Your clients, if it's your clients, let's say birthdays or anniversaries and so on and so forth, Pride will remind you that or tell you that to give you a list of all clients that may have anniversaries on that particular day. It gives you a list and then allows you to act on that list, either through phone calls or text messages and so on and so forth. So there's quite a bit of automation built into this that came with 1.0. Right, it's been improved in 2.0, but we're not calling them out. But there's quite a bit of work that it does. It doesn't sleep, obviously, so it does, and we can't list out all the automated processes that Stride can handle. That's where our website comes in,
Wow. Yeah.
StrideERP.com. You will see all those functionalities listed there.
Okay. Can you say that again? You said strideerp.com.
Correct, yeah. So it's going to be on the chat. We'll drop it on the chat for this meeting. So it's Stride ERP,
Okay.
and that's two E's, STRIDE ERP, one word.com. So you can see all our
Okay.
features there. And also all our social media channels, you still be able to see, you will be able to see the features listed there too.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Really, 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 really mind blowing. Mind blowing. I don't know if anybody has been entertained and educated as I have been, because I mean it's a whole lot that we've gotten today. This software, Stride ERP, seems like a whole lot. And
Mhm.
every business owner really needs to take advantage of this, because this is
I
going to
agree.
ease your stress. Honestly, I,
Hmm.
I agree. I agree. I
Hmm.
totally agree. I advise you all, every business owner here, every small business owner, you need to get Stride ERP. Go to the website, strideerp.com. So check it out and see all the great stuff happening there. And of course, save money, save time, and boost your business. It is possible. Michelle, you said it. We small business owners get to think that it's not possible. It's probably for the big boys, for the people who are already established in the business. But it's possible. This is what Stride ERP is offering. Make sure you check it out. So that is all for our webinar today. We would see you some other time. I would see you some other time. For now, stay well and make sure you stay safe. Do well to observe all the COVID-19 protocols, everything, and be safe out there. I'll see you some other time.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much for being here, Mr.
Thank you,
Namdi
everyone.
and Midi. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, everyone. Bye.